This is macOS Ken.
An amazingly sensible AirTag warning, questions around Tim Cook's compensation, and a check worth way more than the paper it's printed on. It is Thursday, the 17th of February, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe, the right way to protect your home. Whether you're 5 feet from the house next door or half an acre away, there are plenty of reasons to keep an eye on what's happening outside. You could camp out by the window, or check out the new wireless outdoor camera from SimpliSafe. It lets you see what's going on right on your phone. Of course, SimpliSafe can keep an eye on stuff inside as well, through indoor cameras, motion sensors, and hazard sensors like smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. All of it monitored 24/7 by professionals ready to send police, firefighters, or EMTs the moment you need them. And installing all of it, the wireless outdoor camera and the indoor equipment, is super simple. I had my sensors, base station, and keypad installed in under an hour. Check it out for yourself. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. SIMPLI. Go to simplisafe.com/macOSKen. The Office of the Attorney General for the state of New York has words of warning about Apple's AirTag, and there is good news for the tech literate. The whole thing is really sensible. In a press release issued Wednesday, the Office of the AG explained what AirTags are and how they're meant to be used. But bad actors are doing bad things with them, and so New York Attorney General Letitia James issued her warnings not only to potential victims, but to bad guys as well. Quoting Attorney General James, across the country, Apple AirTags are being misused to track people and their belongings to cause harm. Tracking people without their awareness or consent is a serious felony and will not be tolerated by my office. I urge all New Yorkers to pay close attention to their belongings and follow the tips provided by my office to stay safe. And those tips are way sensible, including listening for unfamiliar beeping, watch for item detected near you notifications on iPhones. If you have an Android device, download Tracker Detect from the Google Play Store. Know that not all unfamiliar AirTags are malicious. Check for updated guidance from Apple, and update your Apple device's operating system. I think my favorite tip was the one that had the AG's office advising people to be aware without jumping straight to freaking out. Under the tip, know that not all unfamiliar AirTags are malicious. The office said while it is important to be careful, AirTags are sometimes legitimately lost by their users, and your device will alert you regardless. If an AirTag has been reported lost, your Find My notification will give you information to allow you to return it. For New York residents who are, or suspect they are, the victim of AirTag misuse, the state AG's office wants to hear from you. The office urges people to file a report on the misuse on the Office of Attorney General's website. Here's something unexpected. There's a group of Apple shareholders who think Apple CEO Tim Cook is making too much money. Apple Insider says Institutional Shareholder Services, or ISS, an Apple investor advisory group, is urging its clients to vote against Cook's pay and bonuses package. That vote is scheduled for Apple's annual shareholders meeting on Friday, the 4th of March. In a letter seen by the Financial Times, the piece says, ISS said there was a significant concern with the stock award given to Cook in 2021, the CEO's first since 2011, throughout 2021, says Apple Insider. Cook was awarded stock worth $82 million. The executive's pay package also includes over $630,000 in personal security costs and over $712,000 for a private jet. ISS says the amount significantly exceeds awards given by comparable companies. Curious what metrics they're using in determining comparable companies. Not surprisingly, Apple's board of directors is all for Cook's compensation. It's recommended that shareholders approve the deal. Shareholders generally follow the board's recommendation, according to Apple Insider. At a guess, I'm going to say that's because they like the money they're making on Apple shares. The way Apple Insider sees it, the ISS letter is mostly performative. Remember all those betas that went out to developers on Tuesday? They made their various ways to public testers on Wednesday. Mac Rumors ran a couple of pieces on Hump Day, one announcing the availability of the iOS and iPadOS 15.4 betas for public testers, and another announcing the availability of the macOS Monterey 12.3 beta. Not long after, iMore ran a couple of reports of its own, one announcing the availability of watchOS 8.5 to the public testing peeps, and another announcing the availability of tvOS 15.4. I am not in the public beta program, so I can't say for sure how you go about getting the latest betas. I assume it involves the usual incantations and rituals that I've always assumed it involves. If you would like to be a practitioner of these dark arts, more info is available at beta.apple.com. And may the Lord have mercy on your soul. This week's betas for Apple's operating systems have brought a function change to the iCloud Keychain. The Safari team's Ricky Mondello has hit Twitter with news on the way Apple's browser will handle saving passwords with no associated username. It's going to stop doing that. Right now, a piece from iDownload blog explains iCloud Keychain is more than happy to save a password for an app or website that might not have a username associated with it. In the moment, that might not be an issue, depending on how the login process is handled. However, down the road, when the user tries to log in again, but iCloud Keychain doesn't have a username to go along with that password, issues can arise. Starting with this week's round of betas, according to Mondello's tweet, when Safari isn't sure, it'll prompt you for the username for a password rather than silently save it sans username. Sometimes Safari will pre-fill its best guess here. And we didn't sneak it in, he continues. We intentionally addressed a pain point. More news in a moment. But first, a word from BetterHelp Online Therapy, sponsor of today's show. Sometimes the hardest part of getting help is getting help. You gotta find somebody, you gotta go there. All of it can be scary, and any hindrance is a great way to talk yourself out of it. BetterHelp removes those blocks, making getting help easier. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. I'm an audio guy, from today's podcasts all the way back to the hours and hours I would spend on the phone as a teen. I like the phone calls with my last therapist, and the texting too. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. As I said before, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and macOS Ken listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. That's BETTERHELP, betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. And thanks to BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's show. So there's a series of legal battles brewing between Apple and Ericsson. I have mostly ignored them, though we did touch on them back in late January. We heard then that Ericsson had sued Apple for its continued use of 5G technology patented by the Swedish telecoms company. At that point, Apple had countersued, arguing that Ericsson suing Apple in different jurisdictions for various amounts of money indicated that Ericsson did not want a court setting fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory terms for their patents. Honestly, it's the suit-countersuit thing that kind of turned me off the story. Difficult to keep up, and besides, it's only money. What, Ericsson's going to sue Apple out of existence? Anyway, they have a new court date, and it is almost a year and a half from now. According to a piece from iMore, the U.S. District Judge for the Eastern District of Texas, Marshall Division, has ordered that Apple and Ericsson would have to hash out its legal dispute in front of a jury in June of 2023. In the run-up to the case, both parties will be required to follow the usual court steps of finding witnesses, evidence, and potential other parties who may be involved. Ericsson seeks no ban on devices in this particular case, nor is it looking for sanctions against Apple. All it wants is for the court to decide how much Apple should pay per device for using Ericsson's tech. Ericsson is said to want $5 per iPhone. Apple would like to pay less. See you back here in June of next year. New cast members are buzzing into the Apple TV Plus series The Mosquito Coast. A piece from Deadline says Natalia Cordova-Buckley, Ariane Bakari, and Ian Hart will join the show's second season, joining returning players Justin Theroux, Melissa George, Logan Polish, and Gabriel Bateman. If you have not seen it, Deadline says The Mosquito Coast follows the events prior to Paul Theroux's famed 1981 novel about obsessed idealist inventor Ali Fox, who is on the run from the U.S. government and uproots his family for Mexico. As for the new players, Ian Hart is likely best known for his role as Professor Quirrell in the first film in the Harry Potter series. You could almost say he's rejoining the cast, having appeared in 3 episodes of Mosquito Coast's first season. Ariane Bakari, you may know from the HBO series His Dark Materials and Carnival Row, the Amazon series Good Omens, and the films Life and Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. And Cordova-Buckley you may have caught in the FX series Mayans MC, the CBS series Coyote, or ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. No word on when Season 2 of The Mosquito Coast will hit the stream. The whole of Season 1 is available to stream now on Apple TV+. Apple is going to South by Southwest with more in store than we knew before. I'm a poet and didn't even flaunt the fact. In early February, we heard that Apple TV Plus was premiering 3 shows at next month's South by Southwest Film Festival. At the time, it was reported that Apple would use the festival to offer first looks at the Elizabeth Moss-led thriller series Shining Girls, the Jared Leto Anne Hathaway limited series We Crashed, and the untitled docuseries about Magic Johnson, since given the title They Call Me Magic. Now, Apple has confirmed that those shows are making the trip to Austin, Texas, along with a movie and another series about which we had not heard. The movie is Cha Cha Real Smooth, which Apple picked up at last month's socially distanced Sundance Film Festival. And we finally get a description of that one too. Describing the film, Apple says, fresh out of college and without a clear life path going forward, 22-year-old Andrew is stuck back at home with his family in New Jersey. But if there's one thing that belongs on his non-existent resume, it's how to get a party started, which lands him the perfect job of motivational dancing at the bar and bat mitzvahs for his younger brother's classmates. When Andrew befriends a local mom, Domino, and her daughter, Lola, he finally discovers a future he wants, even if it might not be his own. As for the surprise series premiere, that would be the docuseries The Big Con. Describing that one, Apple says, The Big Con is a 4-part documentary series that tells the unbelievable true story of the larger-than-life attorney Eric C. Kahn, who stole over $500 million in the largest Social Security fraud case in history. The series will also premiere with a companion podcast that will explore Kahn's con and unbelievable lifestyle further, with additional interviews and behind-the-scenes details. All 4 parts of the series will hit Apple TV Plus on Friday, the 5th of May. The companion podcast will hit the same day on Apple Podcasts. And finally today, what is a check for $3,430 worth? Currently $23,582. It's kind of a special check, though. It is an Apple Computer Company check signed in July of 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Mac Daily News has written up an in-process sale from RR Auction. The site does go on a bit about the piece of paper. Then again, they are trying to sell a check that you literally can't cash. Signed by Stephen Jobs and countersigned by Steve Wozniak, the check to Kirov Electronics is printed with Apple's first official business address, which was actually an answering service and mail drop that they used while Apple still operated out of the famous Jobs family garage. Based on the date of the check, says the auction house, it likely represents a payment for parts used in putting together the second batch of Apple I computers, as a document signed by Apple's famed co-founders in the year of the company's origin and directly connected with the production of the Apple I computer. This is an unparalleled, museum-quality piece. Now, how much would you pay? Well, you got a month to decide. The auction closes at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, the 17th of March. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.